Welcome to the 88th edition of Spooky Reviews from Spooky Ventures. This time around I'm looking at a new Blu-ray release of a full moon movie called Netherworld. As I've said in some other reviews, I've always been a big fan of full moon. I'm sure I must have seen this when it was around for the first time in 1992. I don't really remember it though. Perhaps it's because it isn't as intense or powerful as some of the others from full moon. This movie centers around a young man who inherits a mansion when his father, who he never really knew, dies. He finds very early on that his father was involved in some form of dark arts and has left wishes that the son take part in some ritual to bring him back to life. The film is very artsy. In some ways it seems to sacrifice story for style. That said, the whole Louisiana setting and mood really do work well. The pacing is quite slow. The opening scene, which in the end doesn't really seem to have much to do with the actual story, hits pretty hard, but from there it all sort of slows down. Now they twist the whole voodoo concept into something completely different and original. The cult that practices in this area is not like any actual voodoo practice. That's actually brilliant because someone can't say, that's not how it works, or you got it wrong. The voodoo in this film is based heavily on birds, and that allows for a lot of interesting imagery. Again, this is very much about the imagery and the scenery, and the story has some intriguing angles too, though. One complaint I have is that there are some things that are just never really fully explained as well as I wish they were. That opening scene is one of them. There's also a stone hand that flies through the air and kills people, and that really has no explanation for what it is or where it came from or anything. And now that's not a spoiler because we first see it in that first opening scene, and it's also on the cover of the disc. I have to wonder if it was intended to be a parallel to the ball in the Phantasm series. I should also mention that two rockers are included in the movie, playing as part of the bar band. One is Edgar Winter, and the other is David Bryan. Now, Bryan is probably best known as the keyboardist for Bon Jovi. He was also responsible for the soundtrack to this movie. Now, this disc includes one of those cool old full moon behind-the-scenes videos, and I always love those, and they still hold up pretty well. All in all, I found this to be an enjoyable movie. The mystery aspect and the lush setting do a lot to sell it. It's definitely not the best full moon feature, but it's worth the viewing for sure. Spooky Ventures is the home for spooky content and spooky merchandise on the web. Check it out today at spookyventures.com. And remember, always keep it spooky.